Good morning. Good morning. Hi. As everyone finds their seat,
Just yak at him, they'll hear it.
all right. David Burgess put together a small video. It's about 4 minutes long. That kind of covers some of our topic this morning. I'll begin at the end of it. Thank you for that video, David. Okay. All right, good morning. It's January 15th. It's 11:05. First things first. My name is Alex Jules. I'm the historian for the Fellowship of Freethought. Are there any visitors here today? Hi. Welcome. First things first. What's great about being the first person up here, I get to steal people's thunder. So after 9 months of baking, Andrea and Zach made us lunch. I'm going to keep making baby eating references as long as that is out there. Okay. All right. So his name is Patrick William Jarzak Moore. Take a look at the spelling, memorize the spelling, because your spell check will go crazy if you actually try and type it out. All right. He was born January 3rd at 1:21 p.m., 7 pounds at Baylor. Mom and baby are doing fine. Zach, congratulations. All right, so how many vets do we have in the audience today? Vets, veterans, yeah, vets. Peacetime? Wartime? Okay. All right, what was the one thing you most remembered from boot camp? Anyone? Come on, Justin, you're here.
Every Sunday, got to go to church or clean the barracks.
Yep, clean the barracks. Yep. Anyone else? Anything else? So really, very much indoctrination. You should remember the beatdown. You should remember the eventual rush at graduation, cohesiveness, right? For members of the United States Marine Corps, it was Corps, God, Country. It wasn't so written, but it was understood. It was Corps, God, Country. You all went in as individuals, but you came out as one unit, part of a greater whole. You're supposed to lose your sense of being, give up just a little, and become of something greater, very much like religion. It's kind of hard fostering individuality in that environment, especially during that time. You're not supposed to. You're all the same. In fact, our military has a creed, it varies by branch. It's called the Soldier's Creed, where they profess their commitment to professionalism, their passion, their duties and responsibilities. The drill instructor's creed, however, is a little bit more unique. These recruits are entrusted to my care. I will train them to the best of my ability. I will develop them into smartly disciplined, physically fit, basically trained Marines, thoroughly indoctrinated in love of Corps and country. I will demand of them and demonstrate my own example the highest standard of personal conduct, morality, and professional skill. So again, not explicitly stated, but understood. So no God in that one specifically. But dig a little bit deeper. As a Marine, you find out about the Marine's prayer, which starts off, Almighty Father, whose command is over all and whose love never fails, make me aware of thy presence and obedient to thy will. Keep me true to my best self, guarding me against dishonesty in purpose and deed, and helping me to live so that I can face my fellow Marines, my loved ones, and thee without shame or fear. Protect my family. Give me the will to do work of a Marine and accept my share of responsibilities with vigor and enthusiasm. All right, so you got to kill, you get immediate acceptance. It continues. Grant me the courage to be proficient in my daily performance. Keep me loyal and faithful to my superiors and to the duties my country and the Marine Corps have entrusted to me. Help me to wear my uniform with dignity and let it remind me daily of the traditions which I must uphold. If I am inclined to doubt, steady my faith. If I am tempted, make me strong to resist. If I should miss the mark, give me courage to try again. Guide me with the light of truth and grant me wisdom by which I may understand the answer to my prayer. So it's more than borrowing from religion at this point. Sometimes the military is construed as an extension of religion, obviously. But again, why shouldn't it be? It will protect or enforce the values of their government, their people. So religion is or has become part of the ethos, part of the culture. So in a sea of dogma, when you're told that you don't even exist, how is it that free thinkers can find a place to be comfortable? Imagine being asked just not to tell, don't ask, don't tell, because of your sexual orientation. Now imagine fighting for a commander-in-chief, questioning whether you, as an atheist, should even be regarded as a citizen. Definitely not regarded as patriotic, because this is one nation under God. I support the separation of church and state. I'm just not very high on atheists. And that was former President George Bush. So when bullets fly at 1,100 feet per second, actually it's a little bit faster than that, depending on the caliber, everyone converts is the idea, because no one questions God or the God that put you and your government's ideology in conflict with the others in the first place, even though it's technically the same God, right? So Muslim, Jew, Christian, doesn't really matter, you have the same God, but you're killing each other all in name of the same God. But you won't question that, okay? It's a battle of ideologies. So the response to fear, it's not only death, it's God. So, no atheists in foxholes is our topic today. We have a very special guest speaker, Justin Griffith, here with us today. Before I bring him up, we're gonna have the Faithless Companions, and then I'll be back.
One, two, three, four. Get up, stand up. No compromise. Stand up for your rights. That's the rules. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all the glitters and gold. Half a story has never been told. Now you see the light, right light. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Some people think great God gonna come from the sky, take away everything, and make everybody feel high. If you know what life is worth, your liberty
for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up.
Don't give up the fight. Sick and tired of your business game. Dying to go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. I know and we understand. Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Now we see the light. Gonna stand up for our rights.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights.
Don't get your cat paid.
Get up, stand up.
Kids are cute.
Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up.
Don't give
For
up
your
the
rights.
fight. I remember the key that time.
Okay. Let's see. Right now, I'd like to invite Justin Griffith to the podium. We're actually honored to have him here today. He's got to do a little disclaimer. Okay, so he's an active duty sergeant in the U.S. Army. He does not speak on behalf of the Army or the Department of Defense, and you'll see why in a second. Sergeant Griffith is the president and founder of Military Atheist and Secular Humanist, MASH. He's a project leader for Rock Beyond Belief and serves as the military director for our friends at American Atheist. So please help me welcome Justin Griffith.
All right. Hi, good morning. Hey, yeah, like he said, I do not speak on behalf of the Army or the DoD. Because someone's going to edit that out, so I had to say it too. All right. Yeah, we all swear a lot in the military. I've been speaking to reporters a lot, so I've learned if I want to get in the newspapers or just communicate to civilians in general, swear less. I'll try not to swear. My drill sergeants even told me that when you swear, it makes you sound like an asshole. So, but I'll do my best. All right. Okay, this, I'm not sure if you can read it from there, but this is me holding up a sign that says, "There are no chaplains in foxholes." That is actually inspired, this is something I came up with right on the spot when a chaplain actually said to me, "Hey, there are no atheists in foxholes." He said this to me, and he knew I was an atheist. He saw me with a Richard Dawkins book at one point and just zeroed in on me. And this is in front of a lot of people that all outranked me. And I just said that back to him. I said, "Sir, that's very close, but there's actually no chaplains in foxholes." And his jaw dropped. And then everyone else did too. And everyone else just started laughing at him. And I guarantee you he never used that line again. It's actually true, though. Chaplains are non-combatants, and modern chaplains, not since World War II, has there been a chaplain on the front lines. They're not supposed to. They don't have a weapon. If they were in a foxhole, it would cease to be a foxhole. It would just be a hole, So, it's actually true. This is the original picture. it's hard to not swear, because I get told unfairly that I can't even appear in my uniform like the Christians who go to church in uniform, etc. If atheists were even allowed to meet on post, which we are not currently, if we were, I'm still under orders not to wear my uniform. No specific reason given. Okay, so there's other ways to deal with the no atheist in foxhole rumor that I'd like to point out. Everyone's got their own favorite, but I like the one-liners that have come out lately. I guess I kind of did this one too. It says here at the bottom, it says, there are no atheists in Fox News. And that seems to be true. There's a Scientologist, what's her name? Greta Van Susteren, she's a Scientologist, but the reason for the tide is still unexplained. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that backstory. He doesn't understand how the moon works, but Bill O'Reilly right there. Photoshop that. Okay, there's another one right here. There are no atheists in foxholes is more of an argument against foxholes because we are too smart for that. We're on the roofs now. You know how hard it is to dig a foxhole in the sand? It's like we don't use that stuff anymore. It's just... Okay, and also, I was reading the new book by J. Anderson Thompson. He works at the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science. He said on page 71, I remember it clearly, just read this downrange, I just got back, by the way. He said, maybe there are only atheists in foxholes. Because if you believe in some sort of bullet-blocking deity, why would you even put on armor? Why would you dig a hole? Why would you jump in it? I mean, there's only atheists. You clearly don't have faith that someone's going to save your life. So, the faith disappears as soon as bullets start flying, and you try to protect yourself. So I like that, but everyone's got their own favorite. Here's my newest one here. I stole it from Han Solo here. He says, hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid. Yeah, right on. Yeah, and he remained an atheist until he met actual wizards, right? With superpowers. All right, so everyone's got their own reason for joining the Army. I guess you can kind of see what mine was. Yeah. Hey, I'm from Dallas, too, so your kids could turn out just like this. Watch out. Don't let them get arrested so they can join the Army. Which brings me to another point. The Army and the military in general, I love the military. I love the Army. What I'm about to say is very specific to institutionalized breaches of separation of church and state. But the military itself is wonderful. I mean, I think I became a man. I manned up and straightened up, and I'm totally grateful. And the Army deserves to be corrected. And it's actually in existing regulations and laws, and all the laws that were in that video at the beginning. Those still apply to me, to the military. They're wrong, and they know it. And I first stuck, you'll see this coming up, but I stuck my neck out a little over a year ago. I stuck my neck out, and I expected to see like an axe coming down to chop it off, but that's not what I saw. I caught a glimpse of people running away, knowing that they were wrong. And now I'm coming for them at every chance that I hear about, and they are still running. They just know they're wrong. And we're standing up and organizing for the first time. And that's something that is hard to learn. It's hard to learn that it's okay to not be afraid to speak up. But the Army deserves the correction. And okay, this is from last Christmas, not this Christmas, but the last Christmas. My family was still sending me money. Sorry, Mom, this is what I spent it on. There's a tattoo right there. This is photoshopped, but the tattoo is real, but I whitened my teeth. A little embarrassed. All right. So, all right. The Army's evangelicals actually send you a lot of crazy stuff, and this is a small representation here. This one on the left here was a slide. That's how they send it to you. It's a slide in PowerPoint format, just the one slide, inviting you to a 4-part seminar on the strategies of Satan, who it appears is an anarchist. If that A there, I guess Satan loves the Sex Pistols or something, I'm not sure. But it teaches you how to detect and defeat him. Now think about that. We can't even detect God, right? I mean, but Satan, I don't know. I just couldn't think of anything but Ghostbusters jokes. Like I don't know what to say to that. But I did wrote email in reply and mentioned, in my private capacity as the military director of American Atheists, friends with the ACLU, FFRF. We don't need to bring them into this, but this is inappropriate for you to be sending out. I mean, what if you even had a Satanist? Why are you sending this from the commander's inbox to everybody in the entire post? This is downrange in a deployment. And it turns out they did have a Satanist. It wasn't me, obviously, but they had one. And they immediately stopped this kind of messages, mass messages, spam. I call it spam. On the right here, I've got, this is real. I photoshopped Dave Silverman into it. He's the president of American Atheists. He became famous for that face he made at Bill O'Reilly. That was they call it the what the fuck guy. Yeah. But this is all real manga. This is that Japanese comic strips that are very popular. It's a new evangelical tool, like Christian rock was in the 70s, like this new way to reach kids, right? But I got one of these on my desk, and it turns out it's like kind of a really bizarre story behind this thing. You find more copies of this in like Uganda and places like that, where evangelicals are actively like killing homosexuals, and it's really messed up. And they have pages in some of these versions that tell you why biblically abortion and adulterers and homosexuals are to be killed. And I found one on my desk. I'm like, this is what you want me to see? And by the way, why would I get more pamphlets than the other guy sitting next to me? Because I identified as an atheist. So chaplains, the vast majority of chaplains, have this policy that says they reserve the right to evangelize the unchurched. The unchurched. What does that even mean? What about a Jewish person? They're unchurched. I mean, are they synagogued? Or what about a Muslim, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. But move on here. Here was the thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back here for me. This is what got me into an activist. I was treated to about 15 of these flyers. And this is inviting you to an evangelical Christian rock concert and festival. And there's a kiddie land with bounce houses. And the Golden Knights parachute team were forced to jump at this as well, including an atheist who is a friend of mine. And we protested this ahead of time. And it looked like they may cancel it. We weren't sure. By the way, God Rocks. This isn't their logo, but I had to create something. This is Crack Rocks that I found on Google image search, it is the #1 image for them right now on Google if you look for their name. But I like that. Okay, so this is the whole purpose of the event. This is from their website, which is now down. I know you can't read it from there, but I'll hit on every single one. This is a 5-point plan. Every single one of these points is about spreading and teaching people how to spread more. It's like exponential. It says, the emphasis will be on sharing Jesus. It's a catalyst for spiritual growth. The future in the church lies in reaching and discipling the next generation. You can pick a spot. It all says the same crap. It's like 1 point. Just they wrote it 5 times. This training has long-term benefits for ongoing evangelism and discipleship in your church. This was, they brag about it at other forts. That they had pictures of it. We converted 300 on stage at this event. We converted 200 at this event. Soldiers on stage, just changing their entire religion. And they're not lying. That actually happened. It's depressing. But in my opinion, the government has no place in sponsoring evangelical. I understand like a Christian service for Christians, but the point shouldn't be a Christian service for Muslims. It shouldn't be for atheists. It shouldn't be for anyone who's unchurched, It has no place in government. So we thought they were going to cancel it. but they refused to cancel it. I know you can't read this either, but it says, I am not going to cancel. This is the General Helmick, Lieutenant General Helmick. He is the post commander at Fort Bragg. He says, we would be willing and able to provide the same support to comparable events sponsored by similar non-federal entities, and that the support was not barred by statute or regulation. The fact that he said that we are willing to provide the same level of support is the reason why it became legal. That's called a limited public forum. It's a complicated legal term, but basically means they can prevent you from talking about a subject, but if they allow a subject to be talked about, they have to allow all points of view. They have to. So I raised my hand and said, hey, Fort Bragg, I've got an event. I have an atheist event right here. And it turns out Richard Dawkins got on board within a few months, and they were freaking out. They couldn't realize that, or they couldn't deal with the fact that more people were actually interested in coming to this thing, this Rock Beyond Belief. And it's been a year and a half now putting it together. Basically, on our off time, through deployments, through people moving, and every single one of our artists, we have like 15 speakers and 12 bands and like all this money we raised all of the money ourselves. None of it's coming out of like public money at all, and we're ready to go. We were ready to go a year ago. We were ready to go in April, and they approved our event in April. They approved it by saying, we approve your event with the exception that you must be in a small movie theater instead of this giant field, right? You must be in this small movie theater, maybe 100 people, 200 people. I mean, how are we going to have the Golden Knights parachute team, right? Everyone be quiet. We can hear them thud, you know? It's like, and plus, like, we were going to piss off everybody, you know, who had to be turned away. They also told us, in addition, that we had to put a warning on all of our promotional materials. Initially, they said this. It says, this is the one we chose to put up. This is not associated with Fort Bragg. Do not confuse this with the officially endorsed spiritual fitness event called Rock the Fort. That evangelical Christian membership drive was appropriate for the nice people of Fort Bragg. Baby-eating atheists are a different matter. But, all right. You know who didn't think that was funny? Fort Bragg. Yeah, they said, hey, you know, why don't we just not have a warning? Like, that's what I thought. All right. Okay. So none of that actually is the reason why you've ever heard of me, most likely. What happened the first time reporters ever talked to me was more about this thing called, I know you can't read any of this. I got it up because I got to read a little bit to you, but the spiritual fitness testing and training. I can't believe this exists, but it does, and it's definitely unconstitutional, and they know it. But we have a mandatory test now. Once a year, you have to take this test. That tests how fit you are on 4 different subjects: emotional, social, family, and then spiritual. Obviously, 3 of those are grounded in reality, right? And it would make sense to test on. It's in reaction to the suicide rate, which keeps climbing every year, including after they made this. But the questions like, I am a spiritual person, and it's not a yes or no. It's 1 through 5. Okay, my life has lasting meaning. I didn't answer 1, like not at all. I answered 2 because I guess, you know, if you think of like Abraham Lincoln, you know, he had lasting meaning. But think about Abraham Lincoln's dad. I don't know who that is. I mean, so statistically, I'm not likely. So a little like me. I left some room in there, just some wiggle room. I mean, but they have some less confusing ones. They have, I attended religious services in the last 4 weeks. Never or most of the time. I don't even know. I mean, you can't be in the Army if you're in the church most of the time. I mean, you got duty. I don't know how you could pass this test. But, another impossible question was, I believe that my life is deeply connected to all of humanity and all of the world. I mean, that sounds like that sounds like me and my closest 6 billion friends are hanging out playing Nintendo, right? I mean, I don't know how you could pass this test. So I didn't. These are my actual scores here. Green, 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 which is good. You passed. You did great. Except for red, right here in spiritual. And this is what it told me upon failing a spiritual fitness test. It says, spiritual fitness is an area of possible difficulty for you. You may lack a sense of meaning and purpose in your life. At times, it is hard for you to make sense of what is happening to you and others around you. You may not feel connected to something larger than yourself. You may question your beliefs, principles, and values. Nevertheless, who you are and what you do matter. Thanks. All right. It says, all right, there are things you can do to provide more purpose and meaning in your life. Blah, 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 goes on. And then it says, it said something, okay. And then it says, you should dial this 1-800 number because you know, you're spiritually unfit. You're really bad. You're red. That's the worst it goes. I called that number. It's a suicide hotline. And I said, you know, I waited for them to, you know, finish their spiel. You know, we're not recorded. You can be anonymous, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I can tell you my name. It's Justin Griffith, and apparently I'm spiritually unfit. And the person was like, well, you know, this is more of a suicide hotline. We don't really do that. So, well, I was given your number by a reliable source. So. We got problems. Okay. There's a myth now out there propagated by the lawyers and the public affairs type people for the Army whose job it is to basically run interference. Whenever lawyers or media are around, they say that the testing and training are optional. And also, confusingly, that spiritual means human spirit or team spirit. It's not about religion at all. Not at all. Okay, well, right here it says all 4 dimensions, 1 module from each of the 4 dimensions is required. It still says that. Even though they did release a message saying that it's not mandatory anymore, no, they didn't change the training or the testing to reflect this. And if it was optional, only the spiritual part was optional, and it was about team spirit and human spirit, why is it optional? I mean, why is there a controversy if it was truly about that? And also, do you notice anything else that's kind of striking about the imagery they're using here? I did. And, but, you know, I tried to bait some controversy. It didn't work. I don't know. I tried to bait some controversy on my blog, you know, pointing out the Wiccan, you know, it's trying to show you Wiccan stuff and witchcraft, which is actually true. That's not even false. Hold on, let me skip ahead to it. There's such a thing as a spiritual fitness center online. It's a virtual spiritual fitness center. It's got Wiccan right here. It teaches you how to become a Wiccan. This is the Army site. This is the same people that are telling you it's about team spirit. Finger of God. I mean, it's atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Judaism, Muslim, Wiccan. The only links here that are worth anything at all are the Christian links, and they actually link to anything besides like a Wikipedia page or something like that. But let me get back to where I was. Okay. So I started taking these 4 hours of spiritual fitness training because I want to get spiritually fit. All right. One of the suggestions for how I can improve my spiritual fitness is create your own online blog. All right. So I don't know what an offline blog is. I guess that's a journal, but I created an online blog, and you all can follow me along in my spiritual fitness journey on Rock Beyond Belief anytime. All right, so here's another example from the training. It says, seek support from your spiritual community back home. This is back home. This is a spiritual community, team spirit, human spirit. This teaches you how to hunt the good stuff. It's apparently on the floor. Like, all right. All right, here's another one right here. It says, this is a ritual right here. This is a ritual where you reflect on and connect with your deeper purpose and your human spirit. Human spirit. It's not religion. Except for the Christmas tree and the prayers and the hunting the good stuff down on the ground. So it's like, Merry Christmas, there's very few things that aren't like this in the entire training. There was one scene where it said, if you get a haircut, that's a ritual. Then how did I fail? I get my haircut every 2 weeks. You get in trouble if you don't. It's like shaving is a ritual. Everything's a ritual then. Breathing's a ritual. It's retarded. All right. Oh, here's a big shocker right here. This is how you fold the flag, right? This is how it teaches me how to fold the flag. It's a 12-step process to when you're lowering. It's not like that 12-step. Although similar. Okay, so when you take down the flag, it's just a way to fold the flag in a reverential way, but not in like a divine thing or anything like that. You're just supposed to treat it with care that it deserves. And it's a triangle. Nothing else to it. It's a triangle. However, the Christian way to fold it, or the spiritually fit team spirit, human spirit way to fold the flag includes the 10th fold is a tribute to Father. The 11th fold, in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon. Their eyes, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. I mean, how many gods do these monotheistic religions have? And the 12th fold, in the eyes of a Christian citizen, represents blah, 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 blah. Eternity glorifies the blah, 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 and the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost. I mean, that's pretty explicit. There was audio. You had to sit through this. You couldn't skip over it. There was audio to this. Somehow, NPR played this on the air, this audio segment. The next day, it disappeared from the website. But, I thought, oh, sweet, they're starting to remove some stuff. Maybe they're listening. Nope, that's the only thing they removed. And I have a stack of things that didn't play well on the radio. You know what I mean? Like, you can hear a guy reading this, but you can't see the hunting the good stuff down on the ground. You can't see that. Okay, so the Virtual Spiritual Fitness Center, that's your tax dollars at work. I would be angry if I was all of you. There is a guy whose job is to update this, and it's not even updated. They have links to new stories from BeliefNet from August and August and August and August, and that's it. And I don't know why reporters don't listen when they talk to me. I tell them, this is what they're going to say back to you. They're going to say it's team spirit. They're going to say it's human spirit. It's incorrect. Here's proof. You do not need a military CAT card. That's how you log into a military computer now. You don't need one of those to get to this website. All of you can get to this website. It's amazing. It's an amazing website. It's so horrible. Okay, and I've also got spiritual fitness guides. Here's one from my unit, right? It's 67 pages. The first one is good. It says, this page intentionally left blank. But it's all downhill from here. Out of the 67 pages, the rest of them, I'd say two of them don't have a Bible verse on them. It's shocking. Oh, here's the introduction. It says, this is not written to create spirituality. Only God can do that. This is not official for all soldiers. This is all soldiers in my unit. They are not mandated to read these or anything like that, but they printed thousands of them. We only have like 500 soldiers in our unit. So there's a lot of them laying around. And the chaplain's assistants, they're actually really nice. They actually like me, but they always bring by boxes of these things. And they're like, okay, where do we want these? These are really popular. And I'm like, oh, the shredder's over there, or something. But then, they see me smiling, and I'm just kidding. And I said, oh, okay, go put them on that table over there. The microwave's over there, or something like that. And then they go away, and I take home a new stack to give out to reporters. So whatever, it's fine by me. Here's some more highlights, if you will. It teaches you that the spiritual fitness is designed for devotion to God. You can cultivate your spirituality. Here's another really, really big thing that they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on, your money. on no-bid contracts. This is verifiable. This is all public information. It's called Strong Bonds Marriage Counseling. In this Strong Bonds Marriage Counseling retreats, they say things like, the family that prays together stays together. And every 45 minutes or so, they break. I went on one of these with my wife, and every 45 minutes, they invite you to come up and pick a new book or a new pamphlet or whatever. It's all Christian evangelical tracts. Psalm 91, a popular military-themed Christian book. Purpose-driven life, these types of things. Focus on the family stuff. And they bless the food, they bless the breaks, they bless everything. But then they get back to their little DVDs that kind of dance around the subject just a little bit, just enough. But then on Sunday, the third day of these 3-day retreats, they can't help it. They just can't help it. And it's just sermons. That's it. Optional, but you're paying for it. And there are secular alternatives. There are secular alternatives that are not getting nearly as well funded. And there are people, I don't know if you understand what causes the suicide rate that is alarming and affects everyone. Across the board, doesn't matter what your religious preference is. When you're deployed in wartime, you're deployed for a great deal of time. So each one of us, active duty or National Guard, are in a long-distance relationship. And love makes you do crazy, crazy things. And when one person doesn't have that love anymore, or it changes, or you come home and the person isn't used to you raising your kid that way. Don't talk to my kid like that. That's when problems start. That's when, especially coupled with PTSD or other sorts of, it doesn't matter what your religion, atheists too, all of us are vulnerable to this. So we deserve to have a full-fledged program that is medically based to prevent this stuff. It's inexcusable that they use it as a chance to proselytize, to grow the flock, rather than stop people from killing themselves. I mean, it's shameful, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars. Little out of place here, actually, but this is another thing that I was sent from. This is a form that was sent home from school to all the children of Fort Bragg, inviting you to get your parents' signature so you can attend Vacation Bible School, which would be held at the school as well during the summer month. And it was going to be taught by a panda or something, I'm not sure. Fort Bragg actually got really mad at me for photoshopping a panda into a scene from, was it The Shining, with blood everywhere, holding an axe or whatever. Yeah, actually, more about that. I called them out on that too. I said, I just learned about this festival. I said, okay, where's my equal opportunity? I got Camp Quest on the other line. Are you familiar with Camp Quest? Okay. Well, we've got Camp Quest now built into the contract at Rock Beyond Belief. We're going to have children and big kids too, like you and me, walking on water in front of the chapel, the non-Newtonian fluid. Have you heard of that stuff? Yeah, you can actually walk on water now in front of the chapel where we're having this event, this giant event with Richard Dawkins, Dan Barker, all these people, Aiden, and musicians, and now Camp Quest is built into it. We're really excited to do that. A lot of people ask, how can I help? And I think it's hard for an individual to make a real difference every time. But you can certainly contribute. When one person says, hey, I need your help, I need you to call this guy, I need you to email this guy, I need you to sign the petition, please just do it. It takes you 5 seconds, and it snowballs. Share it on your Facebook wall. Upvote on Reddit. Reddit is very good to us. They take care of us. But it's hard to get the word out unless people like you care and acknowledge that you care and get the word out. Things change rapidly. Things change very rapidly. I want to talk to you about Esther Garrity. Have you heard of Esther Garrity? Is anybody here familiar with her story? That's right. She is a hero to this nation. She's a lesbian, and she is a veteran of the Marine Corps. She walked into a Dallas area VA hospital because she had suicidal ideation from PTSD, which she was also recently separated from the military because of her war injuries, in the line of duty war injuries. She walks into this is right before the repeal. Might have been right after. It was right when it was officially over, actually. But she walked into a VA hospital after Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed and said she was suicidal and depressed. Someone talked her into even going there. And she met with a nurse named Lindsay Panathurai. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But this nurse proceeded to tell her that the reason why she was depressed was because of her lifestyle of sin. For 3 hours. 3 hours straight of proselytizing, pamphlets and Bibles, and she was crying and bawling and going out of her mind. She said, you need to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You know what she said back? She said, I already have. I am a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian. I already am one. You know, I've been baptized twice. I chose to as an adult a second time. But this lifestyle of sin made her not a true Christian. And there's no one who had her back and at the VA hospital that day. The VA hospital of Dallas let her down, and she was determined to kill herself that day. And she called up her friend, who happens to be an atheist agnostic, and her friend talked her out of it, got the word out, and she's alive today. She's doing well, and I'm actually going to try and hang out with her in the few short days I have on my leave here. She's great. I have no interest in talking about religion per se with her, but certainly want to let her know that we all care. We want her to live, and we appreciate her service, and we understand what it's like to come home and everything's different. Everything's changed, and have to deal with discrimination. We understand that, and we refuse to be a part of it, and we will do something about it. You know what I did? I noticed that her friend had started a petition on change.org. I wrote about it on my blog. It went viral. It doubled the amount of signatures in the first day, and then it's up to like 17,000. That nurse has been removed now. She's been removed from seeing patients. She's like a secretary, basically, until her case is finalized, which we have gotten advanced word, that she is this close to being fired, if not already. It went the right way. When you call and you fax and you email in mass numbers, it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And the religious groups are already doing this all over the place. Already also in Texas, you have 3 politicians that have been demanding the right for 3 or 4 of these little fringe Christian groups to be a part of all military funerals, all of them. Just all military funerals, including mine. I'm Texas. I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas native. I don't want they're literally forcing prayer over my dead body, literally. That is messed up, and they want to pass laws to make it happen. They're getting groups like, Focus on the Family, and all these other 3-letter Christian organizations that have millions of dollars, put out massive calls for people to write into places like the Veterans Affairs hospitals, demanding that they change stuff. So we have to do little tiny campaigns to counter this, just to get the word out saying, no, thank you for respecting the rights that we are guaranteed. Thank you. You did the right thing. Do not change. You will lose in court anyway. You did the right thing. Don't listen to these people. They are trolls. But I just want to say thank you for your time here. And I think if I could get even just a couple of you to come to Rock Beyond Belief and join the thousands that are out there, I would really, really love it. If anyone out here wants to take a copy of the Spiritual Fitness Guide, I'll be more than happy to give it to you if you promise to come to Rock Beyond Belief. I don't have any money or anything. I can't really give you a good enticement or anything, but we need to stand up strong. We will fall on our face and be embarrassed if we don't. We need as many bodies in the seats. March 31st, 2012. We're there. You can come on base. It doesn't matter. Bring children. Walk on water in front of the chaplains. It'll be great. For me, that's all I've got for you right now. This is, yep, that's it. Okay.
So I come from a family where it's always, you see a vet, you thank a vet. So thank you very much. So we deal with our realities, they deal with their own, and when they come home, many actually don't come back alive, right? We know this. We know that there have been orders of troops that have been shipped back. Make sure you don't get it on media because we don't want to negatively influence war, etc. The next song kind of touches a little bit about that. It is the reality of war. I mean, we just ended one, but we're still losing people. So, next up is the Faithless Companions, Traveling Soldier.
Get 'em off and down and down to where we can go.
Okay. They fight for the liberties, but there's a fair amount of our vets overseas that are, come on, that are parents. So here's a quick reminder of a lot of what they fight for. Yep.
Hi, everyone. We actually had our first babies class today. So we brought in all the babies to see. We were in the gym and had fun, and obviously the mom stayed in there. We had a nice little chat. So if you want to come join the chat, just bring a baby with you next time.
Lunch, dinner.
So we have Amar is 5 months. We have
Lily, who is almost 17 months.
Fletcher's almost 15 months.
Lena's 6 months. Zoe's 11 months.
And Zoe is our visiting guest this month, so unfortunately we won't have her next month. And then in the other class, the smaller of the kids decided they wanted to come in and tell you what they did, so I'll let them tell you what happened. Katie?
We learned about how airplanes fly. We wrote like again.
It's okay. In one of the classes, in the experiment class, they took string and taped it to the wall at different heights and sent a lifesaver down it to test the ratio of height versus speed and how long it took to get down. In the critical thinking class, they just did some questions of what would you do type questions, and also made up some questions for Family Feud, which they'll be playing next month. And I will be sending out a questionnaire to everyone for those questions, so please check your email and reply back so that they can actually play their Family Feud game next month. And that's all. Now we're gonna go have lunch. And so if you don't see any babies later, you know what happened.
Family Feud, code, atheist trivia. Okay. All right, now I'd like to invite our executive director, Dr. Zachary Moore, to the podium, go over some of the announcements.
Thank you. Yes, casual executive. First of all, thank you to Justin for his great presentation. And also for the companions and their wonderful entertainment, as always. And everybody that's helped, make this gathering a reality. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of volunteers to put something like this together. And it can be tough for us because working with the parks system, we've been having to move around from one center to the next as they renovate them. And so it's been a bit of a struggle to stay on top of things logistically. So thanks for everybody for helping us with that. I do want to point out that this is January 2012, so this is a new year. And according to the bylaws, we are directed to start up the election process. And if you're interested, if you want to know a little bit more about how this works, I have some informational sheets on the back table. This gives you just a basic outline of the different positions on the board of directors that will be up for election, the basic nomination process, the election process, and a basic timeline of how this happens. So basically now starts the nomination season, and then by the March gathering, we'll have all of our petitions due to get people on the ballot. The election will actually be in April, and the new board will take office in June. And those people who are eligible to be on the ballot are our voting members. Those are also the only people eligible to vote in the election. If you're not a voting member, we have applications in the back also, if you want to fill one of these out and hand these in either to me or Larry, our secretary. The basic requirements are very minimal. Essentially, if you've shown up here today, you've fulfilled the minimum requirements. You basically have to come to one of our gatherings per year, and then you're in good standing. So check this out. And I also want to point out that there will be a nomination process that will be influenced by the board, the existing board. But anybody, any voting member who wants to be on the ballot can fill out this ballot petition form. And I encourage anyone and everyone to do this. One of the things that we desperately need here is an influx of new people and new ideas, and we don't want the board to get stagnant because when that happens, people get burned out and people try the same old thing, same old thing, same old thing, and things get a little bit less interesting, a little bit less productive. So if you have any inclination at all about helping out with the leadership with this organization, please do consider one of these petition forms. You just have to get it signed by 7 other voting members, and then you'll be on the ballot. And speaking of voting members, we do have 2 to confirm today, Beth Horton and Tony Beck. Welcome. And again, if you'd like to become a voting member, these are the forms in the back. Yes, let's confirm them. So just a little bit quick spiel about the fundraising and our financial needs here. So it takes money to rent these facilities, as classy as they are. And so everything that we do, all of our enterprises, all of our projects are fully funded by donations from you, the members, and the other participants. So if you could donate generously, $30 a month is a pretty good, a rational, reasonable amount, I think, per month. So please consider that. And also please consider participating by volunteering, so contributing your time, not just your money, especially in regards to our outreach programs. I'll get you in a second, Howard, but Melanie wanted to talk a little bit about some of the outreach things coming up.
What's the PayPal account?
Our PayPal account is info@fofdallas.org.
Also wanted to tell a story. Some of us, as one of our outreach activities, did cookie baking for some of my, I'm a VA employee, and we made some cookies for some of my elderly homebound patients. And one of my 97-year-olds remembered that and told the PA that we were doing God's work. Thank you for that. But just wanted to let you all know I added another outreach activity for this coming Wednesday. It's working at the Planned Parenthood Administrative Office, putting together client information packages, etc. And I just got the email for that opportunity this past week, and so then I had to confirm how many people, et cetera. So I'm sorry it's last minute, but if we can have a Fellowship of Freethought presence there besides just me, that would be great. I also wanted to, one of the other things that I'd really like to push is the first weekend of February, we're doing another Adopt a Highway cleanup, and we made that an every other month activity, but it does involve carrying some heavy bags of trash, and the highway really does get messy, and it's in a prominent place in front of North Park, so even if you can just help out a little bit, and children over the ages of 7 are welcome. And of course we still have some slots available for our monthly Aid Services of Dallas meal as well, the 4th Thursday of the month.
Thanks, Melanie. She directs, by the way, our award-winning volunteer program, Partner of the Year 2010 for the Foundation Beyond Belief. So I believe, one quick note about our plates here. So we've gone green with our plates. So we don't have styrofoam plates anymore. We have plastic, durable plastic, and those are kept and those are washed every month so that, Jamie? What? Oh. So just basically don't throw them away.
Let me jump in quick on this. I was told
Okay. Kathy, you had something?
I do. I have a quick announcement. Our band is growing, and he would probably never say this, but I wanted to announce that Scott and Kay are having a baby.
Yes. Congratulations. The parade of babies doesn't seem to want to stop here at the FOF. And Howard?
A couple of comments. One is just there, somebody's got to do God works because he's slacking off.
That's true.
The other thing is, I screwed up this morning and I didn't bring in donation boxes, so if you have a donation to give to me, or Gene, or one of the other directors, and we'll all play it somehow.
Or on our website, we have a Google checkout. It works very well. They basically charge us no fees. So Google has a very good relationship with us. So definitely check out our website too. Any other, Kevin?
One more quickie. Sorry to drag on and on. The Faithless Companions will be playing at the Blue Armadillo in Princeton. We're schlepping all the stuff up to our hometown. So please come out and see us. It's Friday night, the 27th. It's a little coffee bar, winery, good wines. They had an outdoor patio last time we played. I think they're renovating, so it'll be inside where it's warm. I'd love to come see it, or have you come see us.
All right, let's get that on the calendar. All right, well, unless there are any other announcements, thank you all for coming, all the visitors. Please feel free to stay and enjoy the potluck and come back next month. And again, another thank you to everybody who volunteered their time to make this happen. Take care.